Why do I proxy? Proxies are something in the Magic community that are met with mixed feelings. People who see Magic as an investment and have poured money into their collections to obtain rare or powerful cards see proxies as a cheap excuse that devalues their hard work. Cube players see it as a way to enhance their experience within a closely knit group without investing money that otherwise cannot be allocated towards their hobbies. Others are understanding of proxies, either because they're testing their build or what they're proxying cannot be afforded at the moment, but they encourage users to do what they can to obtain a real copy of the card, or otherwise use something that may not be as ideal. Some just don't care. So why proxy? If multiple copies of a card are needed across several different commander decks, why not power down in the name of availability? A Dimir Guildgate is functionally the same as a Watery Grave, isn't it? Unclaimed Territory isn't that much weaker than Cavern of Souls, right? Well, for some, proxying can be a means of expression. In December 1998, Wizards of the Coast released the English-language Pokemon trading card game in the United States. The Pokemon hype machine was at its maximum output, and over the next few years, I would obsessively consume any media associated with the brand. In 2000, I stumbled across Pokemon Zeo, the rabbit hole that would result in an unbroken thread of creativity across all trading card games that I would play to this day. By offering the frames, symbols, fonts, and other assets needed to create my own Pokemon cards, I quickly set out to turn the hoard of artwork that I had collected into my very own playable creations. 2002 would see this trend continue with the then Upper Deck Company English release of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game. I had slowly begun to learn more about Adobe Photoshop beyond how to copy and paste a picture and set text, but with no already prepared assets available to me, I had to set out to make my own. Because the Japanese version of the game was 3 years ahead of the English one, the age of Yu-Gi-Oh! Would not only see my attempts to create my own cards, but duplicating existing ones. Through the same obsessive consumption that had existed during the Pokemon era, I had found a website where someone had translated entire expansions and hastily began putting that text to cards such as the Dark Magician Girl, Archfiend of Gilfer, and the Egyptian God cards. This would also mark the time when I started printing out my own creations and securing them to common cards with an almost unreasonable amount of Scotch tape. Only a year later, Score Entertainment would release the Yu Yu Hakusho trading card game. Lasting for only 2 years, the Hakusho era would see an unbelievable output of over 500 cards created before the game was cancelled. It was because of this short lifespan that the Yu-Gi-Oh! Era of creation did not truly end, and would see my first attempt at creating an entire expansion's worth of connected pieces by basing my work on Bleach's Agent of the Soul Reaper and Soul Society story arcs. It was during the Hakusho era that I was able to really push the authenticity and quality of these proxies by running them during free, no-prize events. Whether they appeared genuine or my opponents simply didn't care, it was through one card that planted the idea that people were okay with proxies as long as what was printed looked really cool. That card was the Score Entertainment employee exclusive, the Dark One. After the Hakusho era, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Era continued, although with the popularity and ease at which tournaments would fire in my area dwindling, that era too was slowly beginning to come to an end. It wouldn't be until 2008 when I would really find myself back in the arms of Wizards of the Coast with Magic: The Gathering. I had tried playing Magic: The Gathering a couple of times during the Yu-Gi-Oh! And Hakusho eras, but it had never really caught my interest the same way a property attributed to an anime had. In 2005, at a small convention at Vassar College, the game had finally seemed to have clicked during a Betrayers of Kamigawa draft, but with the Kamigawa block being panned as it was, its Japanese themes weren't even enough to keep me interested. However, with much of the friends I had made in college being interested in Magic, the constant exposure rekindled that interest, and I found myself searching through boxes and dusting off my old Snake tribal deck. While the rules had changed somewhat, and Sakura Tribe Elder wasn't as powerful as it once was, it was refreshing thinking back to know that Umezawa's Jit was just as formidable a card in 2008 as it had been in 2005. The spark had been reignited. From 2008 until 2011, I did everything that I could to collect as many cards as possible and improve my deck building resources, as well as catch up on all the new mechanics and rules changes that had been added to the game since Betrayers of Kamigawa. The creative spark had been relit as well, and after finding Magic Set Editor, I sought to create a full-sized Magic the Gathering expansion of my own. I was never truly happy with it, but it did teach me a lot about how abilities were worded in order to achieve a certain effect, and helped glean insight on the way effects could affect each other. It wouldn't be until late 2011 that a friend would introduce Commander to our playgroup, and hyped it as a way of bringing a piece of yourself to the battlefield. Your commander would be representative of something you valued, and your library would be filled with ways that you would be able to express what you liked the most about Magic, while being able to perform bombastic sequences of plays that otherwise weren't possible in other formats. I would build for several different commanders, but the one that always felt truly right was Rith the Awakener, who would later be streamlined for Rith the Redeemed. By 2012, a post on the Magic Set Editor forums would lead me to MTG Salvation, where people had posted several customized cards. Painting and altering cards, even with the work that I had done for Yu-Gi-Oh! And Hakusho, was alien to me. Anyone playing Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh! In any competitive sense would look at an altered card and say that it was damaged and its value had diminished. I was fascinated by them, and wished to be able to have some for Rith. However, I understood that such things would likely be outside what I could afford. It was then that I found another section of the forums. People were painting on Magic cards to depict what they wanted, but they were also altering them digitally. With high-resolution assets available, the creative machine was once again up and running. For me, creating and using proxies has always been about creative expression and pushing the boundaries of not only what can be made, but how it looks thematically. If someone placed a set of full-art Zendikar islands in front of you, but instead of something resembling an island, it was a lewd picture of Hinata, would that be as fulfilling as seeing Avenger of Zendikar depicted as the Force Spirit from Princess Mononoke, or understanding a visual joke like Sonic the Hedgehog holding a power ring? No. Probably not. And when it came to from scratch designs, I've yet to find something that makes even a veteran cosplayer feel like they've made it than seeing their work depicted on a Magic card. Since 2012, I've been honing my craft in order to make my Commander decks be recognizable not only by demonstrating what values I find in its colors, but by bringing an entirely new dimension to the battlefield artistically. It would certainly be easier to use powered down, common variants of cards instead of trying to collect multiple copies of rarer ones. But why settle for painted bluffs when your reflecting pool looks like an actual reflection on water, or a monument to the death of Earth's greatest hero carries with it more emotion than a chroma ever could? Something to think about. Hey guys, I hope that you enjoyed the video. I know it's a little different than what we usually do on the channel, but if you enjoyed it, feel free to show your support by leaving a like, a comment, or subscribing, and let me know if you want to see more of this in the future. We're almost at 100 subscribers, so, it'd be kind of cool to maybe hit that by the end of the year, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!